Hey, around here, and I'm here with the 16th century German dagger. It's a beautiful design. It's from Medieval Shop, Australia. It's verging on a short sword. It reminds me a lot of a dagger we tested a while back on an actual gel head. And what has this dagger done to merit me thinking that it would be worth doing a gel head for it? Well, it has a ricasso on it, which I really like. Not only does it have a nice parrying guard if you wanted to use it as a parrying dagger, but you can actually put your finger in front of it to reinforce your cuts if you're cutting in a sword style grip. Of course, it would work really well in a rondel grip as well, or a roundel. But it also is almost hand and a half. Now, why would you need to do that with a sword? You might be prying at plate and need extra leverage while you're doing so. You know, like you've got it in there trying to, and you've also got a nice big ball here to drive it home if you're trying to drive it in between plates. So this is a 16th century dagger, and even though it's not really streamlined and elegant, it's broad enough to be used as an actual sword in unarmored combat, and cut straps easily in armored harness combat, or even the length of it. If you come in at an angle, you could bypass the male gusset and go in between the plate and get down in the ribs. And the shape of this, you would get deep enough in there, even at an extreme angle, you could injure the warrior or take him out of the fight. So it's a great dagger for the time period it's representing. It has a wire wrap grip, and like I said, you could use short sword drills and stuff with it when you're training, because it's almost a short sword. Great dagger to pair with a sword, especially for one that matches it. Like I said, it'd be a great parrying dagger. But what it did for me is it cut very well through rolled wet newspaper. It thrusted through rolled wet newspaper, and also cut through bottles. I mean, I was able to slice through bottles just like if it was a sword. And I was able to thrust through the bottles. It was an excellent blade. So it's done enough that it reminds me a lot of the Edinburgh Castle Damascus blade, or Damascus dagger or dirk from Medieval Shop. And what I've done is done a gel head, and I'm hoping it performs very similar. And if you remember with the actual Edinburgh dagger from Edinburgh Castle, it had a very hard time cutting the artery, and then I pretty much went off on it and was able to cut the entire head off. Hey, I've had about enough of you, lad. I'm going to take your frickin' head off! Ah! 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 Freedom! I think it works well. So I'm hoping it does something adequate that today. It was also able to go through the skull. We're going to see what happens. So without further ado, let's get started. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off by thrusting right into the side of the head. I'm going to aim for about this area and see what happens. I'm going to try thrusting right into this area of the head and see what we can pull off. Put it right in there. Oh! Sorry about the scream, but when you're trying to exert that much force behind a dagger, you sometimes have to do such a thing. I swear it helps when I scream as I'm doing it, because that is painful to put that through there. Let's see how far we actually got. I don't believe we have ever done this before. Ever have we got it through that easily and yow. From one tip to the other, the man's lobotomized and I'm pretty sure dead in the early Middle Ages. No helmet. This is not the dagger you want to run into. Caddy's coming up here. I think that's a kill. What do you think, Caddy?
He's got blood coming down the side of his
And we have the red nose because I do have the artery in here.
He drank a bit too much beer.
Yeah, a little bit too much ale. But what it is sometimes there's a bleed with the artery. It's very hard to seal all that up. But anyway, let's go ahead and remove that. See how much blood we get. Whoa. After performance like that, I think what I shall do is I'm going to come over here and try cutting from this side into the actual skull. I don't know how deep it'll go into the skull. I really have no idea with a dagger like this. I'm not going to put my finger over it. I'm just going to use the sheer weight of the blade, like if I was swinging a sword, because it does have quite a bit of heft even though it's well balanced. And just see what it does. If it doesn't go deep, it doesn't go. we actually pierced our skull and cut into it, much like the actual Kukri. The Khukuri we did, the Nepalese Khukuri, cut about the same but deeper, but we still got a very nice slice. Look how deep we actually made it in here. Let Caddy come up and I would say you need a helmet. If you want to go against this, I would say you need a helmet. That is impressive. I know we already had some compromised skull from the thrust, but still, I believe that cut was its own right a cut. Very impressive, very, very impressive indeed. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to cut the artery in the neck. Hopefully y'all can see the artery here. I'm pretty sure you can see the artery, but I'm going to try to cut the artery in the neck. I will hit with as much force as I can because the Dagger has difficulty doing that. We've had that problem before. But I mean, if I take the whole head off, I take the whole head off. If I don't, I don't. If it takes more, I'll probably come back and try to remove the head like we did with the old Edinburgh. So what do you think? Sound good, Caddy?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just don't land it on my class if you do.
And you did not get a cut into the artery. I would say the Dagger did pretty dang well. I cut just under the artery. I don't know how I did this. I came in at an angle, cut just under the artery. They're gonna have to see this. Cut into our new stand. Sorry, Caddy.
I'm gonna kick your ass if I have to rebuild it too quick.
Okay, I came in at an angle thinking I was gonna be hitting about here on the artery. So the first time I hit it, wasn't quite hard enough. I came back with more force, and I made it all the way through into the spine at an angle. And what stopped me is coming in at this angle, I cut into the actual wooden stand. So, pretty bad aim there. It's not like a sword. You don't want to try to come straight across because you'll lose energy. You want to have your body behind it. So that's why I came in here. We went under the artery, so of course we didn't get that beautiful cut into the artery. We broke the spine and we cut into the actual stand. I still think that's a kill.
I still think if you keep messing up my stand, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah, most certainly. But I think the Dagger's done well today. I very much enjoyed it, and I'd like to thank Medieval Shop Australia once again for this fine blade.
And at least it didn't land on the plants.
True. At least we didn't get the blood on the plants.
No, I was worried about the head landing on them.
Oh! Anyway.
That would have crushed them.
Anyway, as always, farewell from me and Captain. Alright, as you remember in the other video with the early broadsword, or the Type Xa, we ended up putting a piece in at the last head and got a nice decap. I can't promise that on this one because the way I cut through this throat was at an angle and I damaged the spine angular. So I had to put a really long extra piece of thicker PVC pipe as a pin, a little extra blood, and mainly what our goal is to see if we can cut the artery on this side, because I thought about it when I did the Khukuri from Medieval Shop Australia. That's actually a Nepalese Khukuri that's imported. I cut from the off angle. I'm going to try that right here and see if we can make it through that artery to start off. If it looks good or if it happens, or see if we get a cleaner decap and we cut higher up instead of into the stand. Ah! I think I hit the jaw.
I think the coconut flew out of the middle. You hit too high, didn't you?
I hit too high and went completely through the jaw. This is still impressive. I hit high and went completely through the jaw. That shattered and cut through the jaw. And it saved the artery, even though the artery has a nice nick in it. No.
And then, of course, the whole head fell apart.
Yeah, after it hit the ground,
don't
it
think
finished splitting. I don't think we're going to finish this anymore. I do think that's an impressive jaw cut, though. Sorry about coming back with a little clip, but I thought maybe if I would have hit a little lower, it would have worked.